the animal that could drive lions to extinction. For millennia, the lion has been the undisputed symbol of power, the king of the jungle and the savanna. Its roar, an echo of authority, resounds as a reminder of its place at the top of the food chain. But is this supremacy as unshakable as it seems? Today we face a troubling question. What animal could threaten the very existence of these majestic creatures? Throughout this journey, we will explore everything from common competitors to the most lethal predators. And in the end, we will uncover a being whose ability to destroy is not just a danger to lions, but to everything around them. Prepare for a journey that starts with what seems harmless, but ends in the horror of the unimaginable. This is a world where even the king has enemies. Number 5. We begin this list with an agile predator, fiercely organized and surprisingly effective at hunting. At first glance, it might seem like a minor rival to the king of the savanna, but under the right circumstances, its threat could grow exponentially. In the number 5 spot, we find African wild dogs, also known as painted wolves. Scientifically known as Lycaon pictus, African wild dogs are extraordinary predators. They lack the size and strength of a lion, but their power lies in their organization. Hunting in highly coordinated packs, these animals achieve success rates exceeding 70%, far above the lion's average of just 30%. What does this mean? A competition for resources that could be devastating for the big cats. Both predators share the same prey, wildebeests, impalas, and zebras. But in an ecosystem where herbivore populations decline due to poaching or human activity, wild dogs, thanks to their efficiency, could deplete these food sources before lions even get a chance. And it's not just about food. In direct confrontations, wild dogs, though smaller, can harass lions, especially younger or weaker individuals. Every hostile encounter represents a potential loss, reducing the survival and reproduction rates of lions. With their adaptability, rapid reproduction, and ability to thrive in fragmented environments, wild dogs have advantages that lions simply cannot match. While they may not be able to wipe them out on their own, in an unbalanced ecosystem with fewer prey, painted wolves could contribute to a fatal decline. African wild dogs may only take the 5th spot on our list, but their ability to compete and adapt remains alarming. But what happens when lions face an even fiercer rival? One that shares their territorial dominance and often challenges them directly for control of the savanna. Number 4. In the number 4 spot, we face one of the most persistent, cunning, and ruthlessly organized enemies lurking around lions in the African savanna. The relentless and ever-watchful spotted hyenas. Spotted hyenas, Crocuta crocuta, are much more than opportunistic scavengers. These creatures form organized clans that can exceed 80 individuals, challenging even Africa's most feared predator. While lions are stronger individually, hyenas have numbers, endurance, and relentless determination on their side. But how could these rivals contribute to the possible extinction of the king of the savanna? In the African savanna, resources are limited, and competition is fierce. Both hyenas and lions rely on the same prey: wildebeest, zebras, and impalas. But here's a crucial difference. While lions need large amounts of meat to sustain themselves, hyenas are more versatile. Not only do they actively hunt up to 80% of their food, but they also take advantage of leftovers and small prey that others ignore. When they face off directly, numbers play a key role. Hyena clans with up to 80 members can overwhelm lions, whose prides rarely exceed 15 individuals. These mass attacks not only drive lions away from their kills, but also threaten their young. Lion cubs, if left unprotected, become easy targets for hyenas, reducing the survival rates of the next generation. But the danger doesn't end there. Hyenas are relentless. Their ability to travel long distances in search of food, their endurance in times of scarcity, and their aggressive territorial defense make them nearly impossible rivals to dislodge. In regions like the Serengeti, large clans have been able to kill adult lions or drive them out of the most resource-rich territories. With their versatility, numbers, and aggression, spotted hyenas are a force that lions cannot ignore. While lions remain physically superior in an unbalanced ecosystem, dominance could shift in favor of these tireless rivals. Hyenas, with their cunning and numbers, pose a direct threat to lions. But there is another rival that, while not a predator, has an even deeper impact on the balance of the savanna. A titan that doesn't need to attack directly to tip the scales against the king of the jungle. Number 3. In the number 3 spot, we find a colossus capable of transforming the lion's world in devastating ways. Elephants. Elephants, majestic giants and guardians of ecological balance, are an undeniable force in nature. But when their power goes unchecked, they can become an insurmountable challenge for lions. They don't need fangs or claws to bring down the king of the savanna. Their impact is felt in the very landscape, in the resources, and in the daily survival of their competitors. How dangerous can an elephant's shadow be for the king of predators? In the vast African landscapes, water and food are treasures that determine life and death. Elephants, with their large herds and voracious needs, can monopolize critical resources like water holes and shaded areas, especially during droughts. Lions, unable to compete with these massive creatures, are forced to abandon crucial territories, losing access to their prey. But it's not just competition that puts lions at risk. Elephants are the architects of the ecosystem, knocking down trees and transforming vegetation. What is survival for them means the destruction of key habitats for lions' prey. With less cover and reduced biodiversity, hunting becomes more difficult, and lions face relentless hunger. Although rare, direct confrontations between elephants and lions can also be devastating. Elephant herds fiercely protect their young, crushing any threat, including the most formidable predators. In some cases, solitary males have become aggressive, attacking and killing lions in territorial conflicts. Elephants can completely monopolize the remaining resources. Water sources vital to all animals become the exclusive domain of these giants. With less water and fewer prey, lions face an impossible battle. In an ecosystem destabilized by human activity and climate change, the additional pressure from elephants could be the final straw. These giants, whose presence is vital for many, also have the power to push the king of predators toward the abyss. Monumental, relentless, and transformative, elephants earn their place at number 3. But the next enemy on our list presents an even more direct and relentless threat. Number 2. Elephants, with their immense power and transformative impact, pose an indirect yet significant threat to lions. However, in the number 2 spot, the challenge takes a different shape. This enemy has not only altered the savanna, but has also shaped the fate of all living beings. With an influence that extends beyond ecosystems, this rival is relentless and omnipresent. Humans. They are not traditional predators, yet their impact overshadows any natural threat. Humans have pushed lions to the brink of extinction through direct activities such as poaching and indirect ones like habitat destruction. But how did we become the greatest enemy of the king of the jungle? The first and most devastating weapon of humans is habitat loss. Agricultural expansion, livestock farming, and urbanization are fragmenting the lion's natural territory, pushing them into increasingly smaller and unsuitable areas for survival. Big cats need vast territories to hunt and reproduce, but roads, cities, and farms are isolating them, condemning them to starvation and genetic loneliness. But taking away their home is not enough. Poaching fuels a black market that trades in their bones, skins, and teeth. Adding to this is trophy hunting, which, though regulated in some places, continues to decimate entire populations. In many cases, lions are killed not out of necessity, but as mere trophies. The conflict with livestock farmers further intensifies the tragedy. When lions attack cattle due to a lack of natural prey, farmers retaliate with poison, traps, and bullets. This cycle of retribution not only kills the lions involved, but also affects other animals that share the same ecosystem. Meanwhile, climate change, driven by human activity, worsens the situation. With less water available and prey migrating to inaccessible territories, lions face insurmountable challenges. Even irresponsible tourism disrupts their natural behavior, altering their hunting and reproduction patterns. Humans are not only the lion's greatest rival, but also the only ones with the power to save them. Without immediate action, global awareness, and a change in our practices, we could witness the disappearance of the king of the savannah under our own shadow. So far, we have explored a list of formidable enemies. From the cunning coordination of wild dogs to the relentless ferocity of hyenas, the overwhelming force of elephants, and the unstoppable impact of humans. Each has proven its ability to threaten the king of the savannah. But there is only one enemy that requires neither strength nor numbers, one that strikes from the shadows and can decimate entire populations without warning. Number 1. Topping our list at number 1 is the most insidious, lethal, and completely invisible enemy to the naked eye: parasites and microorganisms. Parasites and microorganisms are silent enemies, small in size but immensely deadly. Their reach is absolute, from viruses capable of devastating immune systems to bacteria and parasites that destroy their hosts from within. For lions, these organisms represent a threat that, combined with other factors, could push the species to the brink of extinction. Canine distemper virus, CDV, is one of the most feared enemies. In the 1990s, this pathogen crossed the species barrier from domestic dogs and wiped out over 30% of the lions in the Serengeti. Attacking the immune system, it causes neurological, respiratory, and gastrointestinal symptoms, leaving lions defenseless against other dangers. But viruses are not the only threat. Parasites like Toxoplasma gondii and babesiosis, transmitted by ticks, can cause severe anemia, neurological issues, and reproductive problems, affecting the long-term survival of lion populations. The tsetse fly, carrier of trypanosomiasis, slowly weakens lions in some regions of Central and West Africa, leading them to a fatal state of exhaustion. Bacteria are also a major concern. In Kruger National Park, outbreaks of bovine tuberculosis, transmitted by livestock, have weakened lion populations, while anthrax, lethal and persistent, can wipe out entire groups of animals in just days. What makes these microorganisms so dangerous is their ability to exploit vulnerabilities created by other factors: habitat loss, genetic isolation, prey scarcity, and ecological stress. In a fragmented and unbalanced ecosystem, an epidemic could spread like an uncontrollable wildfire, pushing lions past the point of no return. Parasites and microorganisms take the number 1 spot for a crucial reason: their lethal nature combined with their invisibility. Unlike visible enemies that lions can face and fight, these threats attack from within, silently weakening individuals and entire populations. Moreover, their spread can be rapid, global, and devastating, especially in a world where human activities amplify their impact. When the enemy is invisible, the challenge becomes nearly insurmountable. This is the ultimate threat, one that not only endangers the king of the jungle, but an entire ecosystem that depends on its existence. If we don't act now, we may witness the end of the roar that has defined the majesty of the wild for centuries. But wait, don't go just yet, because we're not done. If you thought parasites and microorganisms were the worst threats lions could face, think again. beyond the number one spot lies a danger so baffling, so shrouded in mystery, that it has left scientists, explorers, and locals perplexed for decades. Zero Zone. Welcome to Zero Zone, where the bizarre and the incredible collide. Here we find a rival that lurks in the shadows of the deepest jungles, the enigmatic Bondo ape. In the heart of the Congo jungle, rumors tell of a creature that defies the known rules of nature. The Bondo ape, also called the Beely ape, has been described as a jungle giant, a hybrid between a gorilla and a chimpanzee, walking on two legs and nesting on the ground. According to local reports, these apes are not only extremely aggressive, but are even said to hunt and kill lions. It all began with unsettling reports from local hunters, giant apes that showed no fear of humans, nested on the ground, and howled under the full moon. And conservationist Carl Ammon traveled to this remote region, intrigued by the stories. There he found skulls that seemed like an impossible cross between gorillas and chimpanzees. Could it be that a new, undiscovered species was emerging from the depths of the jungle? Hunters spoke of creatures that appeared immune to poison and strong enough to take on lions. Their accounts described encounters with apes that shattered termite mounds with tools and cracked open turtles using rocks as anvils, skills rarely seen in chimpanzees. Even footprint molds found in the area were larger than those of an average gorilla. In 2002 and 2003, scientific expeditions attempted to shed light on this enigma. Dr. Shelley Williams returned from an expedition claiming to have seen apes with completely unusual characteristics. Flat faces like gorillas, massive bodies, and unfamiliar behavior. The news made international headlines, fueling speculation that the Bondo ape was more than just a myth. However, later investigations began to unravel the mystery. In 2006, primatologist Dr. Cleve Hicks observed these apes for over 20 hours and concluded that they were not a new species, but rather a population of eastern chimpanzees with unique characteristics. Still, these apes continued to defy expectations. Their ground nests, advanced tool use, and aggressive behavior kept the mystery alive. And what about the claims that they hunt lions? So far, no conclusive evidence has confirmed these stories, but local inhabitants insist that the Bondo apes are more than just ordinary chimpanzees. Could they be a remnant of an ancient population, an evolutionary anomaly, or perhaps something entirely different?